The first thing you need to do to use that Z-Wave light dimmer is you need to pair it with your controller. So you go to the Devices menu and click Add Device, and this is where you do the pairing. And I'm using a VeraLIte controller, and this is the UI 7 interface. The older UI 5 will look a little bit different, but this is the current version. This is a light dimmer, so you would go here as your first guess, and that's what I did. So I went to dimmers and lights, and like I mentioned earlier, my device is about 1.5 years old. As we saw, its part number is DSC19, and none of these devices listed here are DSC19. There's a DSC18, which is the micro smart switch. There's the DSC27 micro smart energy dimmer, but this is the generation 3 model. And the one thing you will find is if you use these selections here for your device, it's only going to look for that exact device. And if you don't have a DSC27103 model, it's not going to pair because it's not that device. What I found was if I came down here to other devices, and then I'll scroll that up, and then other Z-Wave device, then I was able to pair the controller and the dimmer properly. And then what you do is you come into here and it says first you'll need to add this device to your system with the Vera. Click next to get started. And then at this point you power on your device, and this is the point where you need to go to your device and click the pairing, or in this case the action button, and you've got about a minute on the controller for getting the pairing to work, and you've got roughly a minute on the device. So the two have to be pretty close to each other, according to this, within 3 meters or 10 feet for communications. And that's partly because in pairing mode, you're just point-to-point connection. You can usually be a little farther than 10 feet, but you can't take advantage of the Z-Wave mesh network and repeaters because your device doesn't know anything about the network and your controller doesn't know where the device is. So you've got to connect directly from your controller to the device, and you can see it's timed out now. Of course, I didn't hit the pairing button because I'm already paired, but that's the pairing process. If it succeeded, it would identify what device it found. You give it a name, assign it to a room, and I've already done that. And what I did was I took that light dimmer. It's going to be in my master bathroom, so I called it MBR dimmer. And then here's the control page. So my Vera controller is still restarting here, because after you do a pairing, either successfully or unsuccessfully, it's got to restart. So if you don't get the pairing right the first time, you've got to wait for the controller to reset, and then you can try it again. And so you can go back and forth. I think it took me probably 15-20 minutes to get this paired because I hadn't used this device before, so I didn't know exactly how to go through the process. If I were to pair it again, it would take me maybe a minute. So here's your device, and then it shows up as a light dimmer. I can turn the device on. Of course, I have the power off now. Let me turn the power on. If you don't have the device powered, of course you can't communicate to it because this is a line-powered device. And there we go. I've got on. I can control the dimmer. You can see when it hits 0, it turns off. Now this device, when it turns on, it goes to 100. Your other option is you can click the slider to turn it on to a given percent. So that's the light dimmer functionality. And let's go up here to 100%, and you can see a couple of things that I've noticed with this. Here's the icon for the light, and you can see if I dim the light, the icon also dims. The switch is on, or the dimmer, and I want to see if the power reading updates. In fact, what I can do is you can go here into Advanced and go to the commands, and you can say poll now. The Z-Wave controller goes to the device and says, send me your latest information, and now you can see I've got 74.219 watts. This is a 75 watt incandescent bulb, so that looks like it's pretty good power reading. Let's go down to 50%. So the bulb has dimmed. And now let's go in and we'll poll again just to speed things up here so we don't have to wait for the automatic update. So we'll go back and let's see, it hasn't updated. My main power meter says 47 watts. Okay, there we go. So this is reading 45.8 watts. So there it's updated. So you can see this device will actually read the wattage of the load, and then it also accumulates those watts over time to save watt hours or kilowatt hours, as you will.